course, check that triple S, and then push down into your feet, hug the block between the legs, and lift up for bridge. Make sure that even though we are hugging the block, we're still using the glutes, so a little kind of squeeze or firmness in the butt. Feel that those two pelvic points are drawing in. Let's just do a little squeezes into the block. Little thigh master. Keep pushing into your big toes. So we're not changing anything about the feet. We're just squeezing and then releasing the block a little bit. And then while we keep squeezing, I'm doing these little pulses. Let's stretch out the right wrist. Pull the fingers back. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Keep the glutes working. And then switch hands. If you need to stop pulsing or keep going. Stretching out that left wrist. Good, stop stretching the wrist. Let's slowly lower down. So put the block behind your head. It's gonna be the really wide way. And then bring your elbows in just like we would if we didn't have the block there. So it's the same position for our core work. Take a breath in. Feel your two pelvic points draw in, like your belly button is pulling down toward the ground. And then just gently lift off the head, but we're mostly thinking about the belly drawing down. So don't worry about how far the head lifts, but feel your head lean back like your head is pushing back into the block. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, draw the pelvic points in. Feel the belly pull down. Lift up if you want. Lean your head back into the block, but try to get off your shoulder blades. So high enough that we get off the shoulder blades, but not rounding the back. Inhale to lower. Let's add a leg. Exhale, lift up or just pull the front body down. Lean your head back into the block. Let's extend the right leg in line with the left knee. Keep your sacrum right above the tailbone touching the ground. Step that right foot down. Inhale and lower. Exhale, pull the front body down. Maybe we lift off the shoulder blades. Lean your head back into the block. Keep your sacrum touching the ground. Extend the left leg straight in line with the right knee. Lower that left foot. Inhale, lower. We're going to do one more add-on. Exhale, draw the pelvic points in. Pull the belly down. Lean your head back. Try to get off the shoulder blades. Right leg extends in line with the left knee. Now turn from the very center of your chest, 1 inch to the right, but stay lifted off that right shoulder blade. Come back to center. Right foot lowers. Inhale, lower. Exhale, draw the pelvic points in. Pull the belly down. Maybe we lift the head. Lean your head back into the block. Left leg extends in line with the right knee. Keep pulling the belly down as you turn the chest 1 inch to the left. Lift your left shoulder blade off the ground. Bring it back. Lower the left foot. Inhale and lower. Let's come to quadruped. We're going to use the block and place it right on the sacrum. So right on the lower back. Shoulders are over your wrists, so walk your knees in a little bit closer toward the hands. So we're our hands and knees are in a shorter position. And then really think about the front of your throat lifting away from the ground, so we're not dropping the ears below the shoulders. Right leg will extend back. Feel your low belly lift up toward the block. And then float the right toes off the ground. Let's bend the knee here. Draw the pelvic points in. Think right glute. And try to lift that right heel up toward the ceiling. But the goal is to not feel the movement anywhere but that right hip and glute. So we don't want to be rounding the back or dropping the head. We want to hold straight and strong in the arms. And we want to keep the belly from dropping. So holding that connected core the whole time as we pulse this right glute. Good, lower that right knee down and switch. You can always adjust the block a little bit. Recheck your neutral neck, shoulder blades and pelvis. Left leg back. Lift the belly up toward the block. Float the toes off the ground and then bend the knee. We're pulsing this left hip now. Tiny little hip extension pulses. Press evenly into the hands. Keep your two pelvic points drawing in toward each other. Lower that left knee down. Remove the block. You can come to fist if you want to give your wrists a break, or you can stay on your hands. Let's push into the right hand and reach the left arm out to the side. So we'll rotate the chest to the left. And then exhale, thread that left arm under. Feel free to bend the right elbow if that feels good. Push into the right hand, rotate the chest left. And then reach it under. Push into that right hand, rotate left. Reach it under. One more and then we'll hold. So we'll rotate one time to the left. And then thread under to the right and hold wherever you are. Take a full breath here. Try to breathe into the left side of your rib cage. Good, come back up. Switch hands, so left hand stays down, right arm reaches to the right. Push into the left hand, turn the chest right. Reach it under any amount to the left. Push into the hand. So we're trying to rotate in the upper back, but not turn so much in the lower back. Holding pretty stable there. One more time and we'll hold. So once you rotate over toward the left, let's try to take a breath there. Breathing into the right side of your ribs. Good. Come back to quadruped. We're going to lower onto our forearms. So come onto your forearms. You can have the palms flat, or you can interlace your hands if that feels better for your shoulders. But again, hug the knees in nice and tight so that they're not really far back. They should be right under the hips. Lift the front of the throat, draw those pelvic points in, tuck your toes. Now try to push into your forearms and just hover the knees without rounding the back, and then lower. So it's a tiny hover. Lower is harder. I'm barely getting my knees off the ground. So it's like a hovering quadruped, but on our forearms. And you're just going to try to lift and lower like that. This is fantastic for the core. So we're just barely hovering the knees. Good. Quick child's pose, lower the knees. Just give the shoulders a break. Check in with that 360 breath. Good. Quadruped, let's cat-cow a couple times. Heading to down dog. Tuck the toes. Lift those hip creases way up. You can walk the feet closer in. So we're in that super short down dog, letting the knees bend, feeling the hip creases lift way up. Press into the fingers. Let's pedal the feet out. Bending one knee at a time, even more to stretch into the calves, getting into the ankles. Big bend in your knees. Walk your hands back towards your feet without rounding the back. So huge bend in your knees. Hands can come up as high as you need in this happy squat. Take one breath here, let the neck release, and feel that your breath can move into the sides of your ribs and the back of your ribs. Push into your feet. Let's rise up. But as we march forward, it's the same hip flexion march, but what we're going to try to do is lift up really quickly. So flex that right hip and see if you can keep your balance, and then slowly step it down. So we're working concentric and eccentric. So quickly lift that left leg up. Can you hold your balance? And then slowly, with control, lower it down without changing your posture. So quick lift of that right leg. Left glute really has to kick in. Slowly lower down. Quick lift of that left hip. Right glute firms. And then slowly lower down. Grab your block. Put it between your ankles. So it's, thinner, wider, whatever feels good for your feet to stand here, but you do want to kind of hug in on the ankles. Check that the tailbone isn't out behind you, but down, so pelvis is neutral. You're just going to push into the big toes, lift and lower the heels. So it can be a big lift, a small lift, you can go fast, you can go slow, whatever feels good, but we want to keep that little gentle hug on the block. This is a really good way to train ankle stability, because if we don't have the block, a lot of us roll outwards. Good, let's release it. And then at the top of the mat, we'll reach the arms up, add that heel lift here, push into the big toes, lift the heels. Lower the heels as you sit the hips back, hands plant plank pose. Your knees can be up or down in plank, but let's really lift the front of the throat. We don't want the ears dropping below the shoulders. And then slide your right knee in for quadruped, left knee in for quadruped. From quadruped, step your right foot back and then your left foot back. So we're in plank. Right knee in, left knee in. One more, right foot back, left foot back. Right knee in, left knee in. Tuck the toes, down dog. Keep pressing into the fingers. Hands walk back toward the feet into that happy squat. Push into the feet, rise up. So that same march, but we're going to add a heel lift. So can we flex that right hip and maybe lift the left heel, lower the left heel, step it down. Adaptable feet. Pick up that left foot, lift the right heel, lower the heel, step it down. Right foot lifts. It can be the tiniest little lift. Step it forward, left hip up, maybe a little lift on the right heel, and then step it down. Reach the arms up, tailbone reaches straight down. Lift the heels, lower the heels, sit the hips back, plank pose. Find your neutral spine here, like you have that broom behind your back, lifting the front of the throat. We're going to go left foot forward first. Left knee in, right knee in, quadruped, left foot back, right foot back, plank. Left knee in, right knee in, left foot back, right foot back, left knee in, right knee in, tuck the toes, down dog. For down dog now, lift those front ribs, lift the ribs. Let's see if we can stay on our left foot and maybe lift the right leg up. Three-legged dog, but not high, no higher than your hip, and then lower down. So you can lift a couple inches. Stay on the right foot, lift the left leg. So see if you can walk it out here, just alternating one at a time. Holding strong in the arms, keeping the front ribs lifting up toward the back ribs. Good, bend the knees, walk the hands back toward the feet, happy squat. Push into the feet, rise up. Good, stay at the back of your mat, lift your heels, tiptoe walk forward. Once you get to the front of your mat, tiptoe walk it back. And then forward again. And lower the heels. We're going to do some small reverse lunges. So you're going to step your right foot back into a lunge, but it's going to be small. And you're going to let this right knee bend and then push down into that left foot, step it forward. Now our left foot's going to step back into a reverse lunge, push into the foot, step it forward. So they're not a huge high lunge. You can only step back a foot, but can we keep that pelvis from tipping forward or arching the back? So feeling that broom behind us, working the glutes, working our legs, working our core. Good, changing directions, moving backwards instead of forwards. We're gonna pause with that right foot back. Reach the arms forward, so now we're in a high lunge. Draw those pelvic points in. Swing one arm forward, one arm back. So we're adding just a little turn in the chest and the ribs. Swinging the arm forward, but of course, we want our pelvis to stay totally still. So our low back isn't turning. We're not turning in the hips. Good. Lower the arms, turn to the right, turn the toes out. So we're in our squat. Check that pelvis, tailbone is reaching down, and then make sure your ribs are stacking right over your pelvis so they're not popped forward. So you want ribs right over the pelvis, arms come out. Let's circle the arms here, but keep the whole front body still. If you want to add a pulse in a circle, you can somehow coordinate pulsing the legs and the arms if you want. Adding a little bit more work for the legs and the glutes. Good, straighten your legs, step it forward. Reverse lunges with an add-on. So now we'll step our left foot back into a reverse lunge. Maybe we add a tap and then a lift. Step it down, right foot steps back, reverse lunge. Tap, then lift the thigh, so flexing the hip. So we're gonna alternate now, right and left. If you wanna go straight here, you can. The reverse lunge, end up in that balance. To add taps if you want, either side. But we want to keep the pelvis from wiggling forward and back. We're really using the glutes. We're using the core. Couple more times each side. Let's pause when that left foot is back for our lunge. Swing one arm forward, one arm back. Turning in the ribs, but not turning in the lower back. So pelvis stays in that neutral position. Release the arms, keep turning to the left. Find that squat. This time we'll do arms out. Keep tailbone reaching down, and we'll side bend. So we'll do left arm can lower, right arm comes up and over. Back to center. Right arm down, left arm comes up and over. And down. You can lower the hips as much as you want. We're going to keep side bending. Hold strong in the legs. Good, come back to center, step it back to the front of the mat. Standing twist. Pick up your right foot. Let's go close the arms. Turn the chest to the right. Unwind, back to center. Rotate right. Back to center. So we're turning the chest, but not the lower back. So you really have to work that left hip and glute, pushing into that left big toe. This time, rotate and hold here. Try to keep your upper body where it is. Slowly step your right foot back, warrior two. Reach those arms out. Reverse it. Tailbone reaches down. Keep those front ribs in. Warrior two. Variation. Forearm to the hip or thigh. Right arm up and over. Warrior two. Reverse it. Warrior two. Variation. Push into that right foot. Reach that tailbone down. Warrior two. Turn to the side of your mat. Parallel the feet. So we're gonna do side lunges with thoracic rotation with different tempos. So we're gonna go fast, fast, slow, or quick, quick, slow. So if we go right first, we'll go side lunge right, left, and then slow to the right. That's when you add your rotation. Unwind, so now let's go left, right, left, left, right, slow rotation. So you're just gonna keep going, it's quick, quick, slow, and on the slow, you add your rotation. So that helps us with our adaptability to work that eccentric strength. That's when we want a muscle to work slowly when it's getting longer. So we're actually using the core a lot here, especially as we rotate. We have to use the core to rotate the upper part of the torso without turning the lower part. Make sure the ears aren't dropping below the shoulders. Good, come back to the top of your mat. We're gonna do that standing twist. So left leg up this time, tailbone down, right glute is getting a little squeeze. Goalpost the arms, rotate the chest to the left, keep that tailbone down, and then unwind. So really push down into that right foot and right big toe. We're using the core to rotate here. Hold that rotation, keep the tailbone down, step your left foot slowly back into that warrior two. Check in, reverse it, let the neck release, warrior two, variation, reach it forward, warrior two, one more time through, reverse it, warrior two, variation, warrior two. Turn to the side of the mat. You can side lunge with just thoracic rotation both ways, our normal tempo, or you can stick with the quick, quick, slow and rotate, whatever you would prefer. Keeping that feeling of the broom behind your back. Come to the front of the mat. We're gonna do a really fun balancing exercise. Pick up your right foot. You can have a little softness in the knee, or it could be fully bent. That's up to you, but we want to make sure that, left leg, your left glute is working so we're not sinking into that left hip. So all we're going to do is tap the right toes forward anywhere, and then pick it up. Tap your toes somewhere to the right. Pick it up. Tap your toes behind you. Pick it up. And then we're going to cross over to the left. So you're going to tap the toes and cross them over at a diagonal, and then pick it up. So each time we're just going to go forward, side, back. Can you tap it a little bit further away? So we're really working the stability of that left foot and ankle. And then I gave people the option today to make it bigger if they wanted to, by keeping the toes off the ground and hinging forward if you want to make it bigger when it goes behind you. So we're really challenging not only that left hip and ankle, but the left hip to stabilize and support us. So just try to make it as big as you can, challenging that standing ankle and hip. And then we'll switch, roll or circle around that left ankle. So we'll start small, pick up the right foot, little softness in the knee, tap, tap to the side, tap to the back, tap to the right. So each time Maybe we add more of a bend in that standing leg. By bending that standing knee more, you're also getting more range of motion for that right ankle. So maybe we even keep the toes off the ground. But really make sure that your right hip is working so you can feel that right glute, get a little squeeze. Good, release it down, shake out that right ankle. Come on to our backs. Take a figure 4. Now let's try putting the block under our sacrum, starting in the supported position. So our lower back is just elevated by the block a little bit, and just pause there for a second. Can you still get the shoulder blades to touch the ground? Can you still get the back of the skull to touch? Pick up your right foot. Hug that right thigh in toward the body, so we are grabbing and pulling. But try to keep your sacrum on the block. If this feels okay, if you want to try extending the left leg out straight, you can also try that option. That's going to get into more of a pull at the front of the left hip, so the straight leg. And then bring that left foot back onto the ground if you extended it out. And let's cross the right leg over for a figure 4, staying on the block. If it feels good to lift your left foot off the ground, you can take that option. Maybe let the arms come out wide or to a goal post. You could even rock side to side on the block, a little massage there for the back of the pelvis. Release it out of that and let's switch. So check that your sacrum is still on the block, shoulder blades in the back of the skull are on the ground. Pick up the left foot, grab and hug that left thigh in. Stay here, or if it would feel nice, extend the right leg out long, as straight as it feels good. It doesn't have to go all the way straight. Bring the foot back to the ground, cross that left ankle over for your figure 4. Whatever option feels good here.